Hi, my name is VertiYak. I'm the developer of the VertiYak kayak rack. The VertiYak is a hitch mount carrier designed to fit into a 2-inch receiver hitch on a RV or an SUV or a truck, anything with a 2-inch receiver that's of decent size, you can put this on. One of the common questions we get is, will my kayak fit within your carrier? Well, the opening in the bottom of the kayak rack is 11.5 by 17 inches. The best way to see if it will fit on your kayak is to cut an 11.5 by 17 inch opening into a piece of cardboard and slip it over your kayak. You want to make sure that you have enough kayak sticking through, and I would say 6 inches is probably the minimum. Here on mine, it's about 16 inches. So that's how you would find out if your kayak would fit within the boundaries of the rack. Once you've decided that the VertiYak is good for your kayak application, it'll come packaged in a box just like this. And what you're going to be receiving, we've got some cardboard in between here to help protect the paint finish. And what you're going to be receiving is you've got a lower hoop. The hardware will be attached to that inside the box. The upper retaining bar. And then the main beam, which comes in 2 pieces. We've already got the insert tube mounted inside of this. It's easier to do the installation of your VertiYak on the vehicle for support while you're putting it together and hold it in place. So the first thing you do is you take the lower portion of the bottom beam, and this slides into the 2-inch receiver. Here is one of the common questions that we get. When you insert the lower beam into the receiver, you'll notice that between the receiver and the VertiYak, there is some play. So some people in their reviews have said that this is too much movement, which is correct. It probably is. What I like to use in place of a hitch pin is this little anti-rattle device that you can commonly find at a hitch shop. Soon I think I'm going to make them available on my website for purchase. But if you use this, you can see it's got a pin, and then this insert goes inside the tube. You can see that the insert of the anti-rattle device has a threaded portion on the inside. So you slide that within the tube of the VertiYak and then into the receiver, and then you tighten that with the wrench and then insert the safety retainer pin. Now you can see that there's a solid mount between the hitch and the lower portion of the main beam of the rack. There are a couple of other styles of anti-rattle devices available. There's one with a wedge that will go over the 2 inches on the rack and then wedge itself into the receiver. Those type will work also. Now that we've got the lower beam installed, the next step is installation of the upper beam to the lower beam. Just insert the tube. Next, you want to install your lower hoop, and you can see that you've got the 2 11.5 by 17 inch openings. So the rack will accommodate 2 kayaks in the vertical position. You want to decide on your desired mounting height for the lower hoop, depending on how much your kayak rack sticks through the bottom of the lower hoop, and you can make adjustments for bumper mounting height. But anyways, you have 3 options here on the height that you can mount this. Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to use the center set of holes, and we're going to bolt this on here as a hinge. Whoops. You want to put the The tall part of the bracket goes to the top, and I'm actually going to use one of the safety pins to temporarily put this in place. Okay, when we change this to a bolt, it's actually going to act as a hinge so that when we're not hauling kayaks, we can flip this up and pin it in this position so it's flush against your vehicle. I'm going to go ahead and install this pin in. Okay, now I'm going to remove this pin and I'm going to replace it with a bolt that will act as that hinge. On this bolt, you want to insert the washer behind, push the bolt through, and then you'll be putting a washer on the other side before you tighten it down. Because the tolerances are designed tightly, you may need to use a screwdriver to get the washer in the other side. Again, the washer goes on the inside. Once you get the washer into place, you push the bolt through and tighten down the nylock nut. Now when you tighten this down, you want to snug it up so that it takes any play out back and forth, but you don't want it so tight that it will not rotate up. Now you have your lower hoop installed with the bolt tightened and acting as a hinge. The washers help protect the paint from the bracket as it rotates up and down. In the travel position, you just flip it up and replace the pin, and now you have it flush against the back of your vehicle when you're not using it. And again, the tolerances of the pins and the bolts are tight, and that's by design to keep things from moving around while you have your kayaks in the rack. But you might need to use a mallet to tap these pins into place the first time. I like to use a large diameter pool noodle to protect the finish on my kayak and on the rack itself. You take the pool noodle and you cut it to the desired length for your rack, and then make a slice in it, and then you can put it over the rack and use zip ties to hold it into place. And again, that will help protect the finish of your kayak and the rack itself. So thank you for watching our video today. I hope this helps answer any questions that you have before you purchase your VertiYak. You can order online at our website at www.vertiyak.com, and you can find information also on our Facebook page. Appreciate you watching.